The 3.20 Curse Manifesto is actually crazy. So many things got buffed pretty much wholeheartedly across the board. Everything got buffed. And the few nerfs that are there were only a step down from its buffed state, not taking it to anything lower than where it was before. So let's go through some of these changes. I wrote it down, 7 steps, should be pretty easy, but we'll see if I can stretch it out to a 10-minute video. Hexes have 10%, 200% more curse effect against bosses. The TLDR there is a 66% less effective hex modifier on bosses that's removed. So now your hexes have 200% more effect against them. My mob build had like 7.7 million POB damage. With this change, I now have like 8.9, right? So I got a pretty big boost in damage there. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Corrupting Fever Champ, that got a nice little damage boost off vulnerability as well. We'll see what happens with Vuln, especially as well as Despair, because those are getting changed too. To not only work better at a higher level, but they're also tweaking some things so they work better with other builds. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what exactly goes on there. Anyways, though, Doom is gone now, and Hexblast might be good. If you didn't know, Doom was a mechanic where if you self-casted your Hex, right, you just put it in a socket, and then you put that on your hotbar, and then you used the curse, it would get extra effect the longer the curse was on that enemy, up to 30% increased curse effect. It was an easy way for you to squeeze out just like a little bit more damage if you didn't mind self-casting your stuff. You really just see this in like kind of SSF, nobody really wants to self-cast their stuff. So that's pretty much the only time I've seen it used outside of like actual Doom builds. Hexblast might be good. We'll see what happens. Hexblast was already like kind of decent. We saw some cute stuff with it, but maybe without Doom, they now will buff it. So because right now it's going to remove a Hex and do more damage if it removes a Hex. So you just have to have a ability that will apply your Hex again. Or you can have, just blasphemy there so you never have to remove it and then you lose the damage. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not too worried about Hexblast. I don't really care. There might be some Hexblast boys out there. Good luck. Hex Touch and Blasphemy have less curse effect. They didn't specify how much, but they're just going to work a little bit worse from my understanding. So while your hexes have 200% more curse effect on bosses, still a huge buff, this little bit less curse effect is going to be anywhere near where the reduction was before, which was like 66%, right? In my mind, it's going to be like a 10 to 15% less of curse effect when you use Hex Touch or when you use Blasphemy. They just want to make it so you technically will get more out of your curses if you self-cast them. I don't think they want to make it almost non-viable for you to Hex Touch or Blasphemy. They don't want it to hurt, right? They just want it to be technically better. The second thing here is Hex-on-hit rings. So this is stuff like your Synthesis Implicits, your Warlord, your whatever, where it's like Flammability on hit, Despair on hit, whatever on hit, right? Those used to have increased effective curses, and now they don't. Now, that sounds like a nerf, and yeah, they technically nerfed those rings, but you have to keep in mind, they also buffed the hell out of hexes. So it doesn't really matter if you lost 30% increased effect when your hex has 200% more curse effect against bosses than it previously did. The one thing that is a little spicy is going to be the level 1 version of Hex Gems. So that's one thing with vulnerability and despair they mentioned very specifically. So the level 1 version of Vuln and Despair are pretty good, and it doesn't feel nearly as bad to have a level 1 version of those gems as it does to have a level 20. So they want to make it feel a little worse. Now, we can take this two ways. We can take that as they're going to nerf level 1 gems and they're going to make it kind of feel a little bad that you have to use level 1 versions. And this is what the Hex-on-hit, right? Your flammability on hit is a level 1 version of flammability. Same with all of these. So they might make it a little bit worse there. Or they might just make the level 20 version a lot better. We're just going to have to wait and see the numbers in the end in the patch notes. But it sounds like they're probably not going to change much here. And they're just going to make the level 1 worse, and then the level 20 is going to be twice as good. I don't think they're going to like make the level 1 a little bit better. They're probably going to nerf it a little bit, but again, it's still going to be a net gain in damage. It just won't be as much because you're using a ring that applies your hex, right? You still get that damage because, you know, number one, you got 200% more effect, but you know, it is what it is. They give a lot and then they take a little bit. I'm fine with that because if you self-cast your stuff, your damage will be bonkers. So, I mean, if you're league starting stuff, you might want to just self-cast your curse when you have to do your Exarch, right? I'm not saying that you have to self-cast your curse on every magic pack, okay? Nobody's saying that. GGG doesn't even want you to do that, okay? They don't want you to apply your hex or your mark to every single rare, unless you're in Ruthless, okay? But what you would do is you would self-cast these when you have to do your Maven for a Void Stone, your Uber Elder for a Void Stone, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, one for each Void Stone. Can you press the button a couple times in each boss fight? I mean, come on, you get a lot more damage then, all right? That's, you know, that might be what you do on League Start. And that's not that bad. You know, you press one extra button, you get crazy extra damage because now it's not even nerfed and it's Omega buffed. Or, you know, you can just cope and you have like only a little bit of buff damage. Temp Chains and Enfeeble. This one's really interesting. So they didn't give us any hard numbers, but Temp Chains and Enfeeble won't have that reduced effect against bosses, which was apparently so bad. I didn't know this, but Temp Chains only gave a 4% action speed debuff to pinnacle bosses. What? Yeah, that's kind of bad. It was kind of bad. I don't even know if I could feel 4% of much. 4% of a damage increase on my build. I don't know, man. 4% of action speed lost on the boss. Are they really that slower? But now that's gone. And they're going to tweak the numbers a little bit. We'll see in the patch notes. They just didn't want to be stuck with a number or get people's expectations up. But they specifically has said, we'll bring it up here, that they want Temporal Chains and Enfeebles as strong defensive options without requiring large investment into curse effect. Now, the cope in me, I guess the hope in me, is that these could almost be a defense layer, right? Yo, maybe I'll make that the clickbait title. We'll see. All right. But I mean, that's kind of cool. Your temp chains could slow the attacks. Now, in some situations, it would be really helpful. But like most of the time, when I want a lot of evasion or block, it's like Eater Pack spawns projectiles instantly everywhere, right? There's never really a situation where it's like, attack, where it's like, okay, you know, like maybe I could evade half the attacks, or maybe the monster's twice as slow, so I really only get hit half as much, right? Where it could maybe even be that defense layer, right? You know, it probably won't work out that well, but you add this on and you get a little bit extra of a boost. I think that'll be pretty cool. Enfeeble will be the same way, except Enfeeble is just busting, okay? This stuff gives you less damage taken. That's really good. All right, we'll see what the new numbers are in the end, but this could be really cool. The new unique ring is wild. Everyone's going to have this in their YouTube thumbnails. I'd be surprised if you didn't already see 4 or 5 YouTube videos with this in there. But the Anathema ring, yo, shout out to Anathema, by the way, my homie. Big line here. Your curse limit equal to your max power charges. This is crazy, right? Everybody knows this is crazy right from the start. You know, if you start in most places on the tree that would use this ring, you have access to a power charge. Most places are going to reach somewhere where you could get that power charge. So then we can make your curse limit 4, right? That means now you get, if you're an elemental build, you could do your flammability, you could do your LE weakness, then you could get some mark, all right? Whatever mark you want to use. Maybe your projectiles, you use something, your you know, maybe it's Warlord mark. You just want the leech, and maybe you can stun something, get whatever. I don't know, okay? But you can use a mark. You get 1 extra, and then you could do a temp chains, you could do an enfeeble. Maybe you want to do punishment. Punishments, guys, punishment's actually pretty good now too. Now that 66 less effect of hexes is gone, punishment is a really tasty option. So yeah, we might see some of that there, where the second half of the boss's life is just getting absolutely obliterated. There's a lot of options here. I mean, even hell, if you don't pick up the +1 max power charge, you could just have this at 3 and you get 3 curses. Like, that's really good. You could anoint or travel the Whispers of Doom and then get to 4 like that if you want, or I don't know, right? You'd probably just anoint the power charge at the point. I don't know why you don't anoint the other thing. Or maybe you just get some crazy stuff where you have like power charge stacking Hex-blast, where you have like your void batteries, or maybe you do some Ralakesh thing where you're getting a lot of max power charges, and now you're also getting a lot of extra curses that you can just blast on things, and I don't know, you do Bane or something. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I expect that ring to be really expensive, so I'm not gonna really plan around that for anything in the league start, but I mean, mid-league, we'll see. The last thing here, and the one thing that got kind of nerfed, I'll keep it a buck, okay? There was one nerf. Occultist got the curse effect removed from its notable, but put on the passive tree so that you could still obtain it for a couple extra passive points, mainly so that other people could obtain that 15% curse effect. Probably another, you know, maybe like 3 or 5 on small nodes as well. So, you know, you get like 20 something curse effect on the tree now. That's cool, sure. And then the curses are buffed, like, you know, sure, dude, fuck it. The one thing that got it was malediction from Occultist, though. Unfortunately, we just don't get Occultist malediction anymore. You don't get that 10% more damage and the 10% reduced damage taken. Now, I had a lot of people in my chat thinking during the live stream, which you should check out, twitch.tv, that the malediction was added to the tree. No, you silly goose. All right, you got to read. The curse effect removed from the notable previously known as malediction, right? This is the Occultist notable. It was called malediction, that whole notable. They removed the curse effect from it, and they put the curse effect on the passive tree. They did not remove malediction and put malediction on the passive tree, because that would be crazy. Can you imagine you spec into something on the tree and you get 10% more damage and 10% reduced damage taken? I'm traveling there, and so is everyone else, because that node would be crazy. That would be like a keystone, and they would have to put some downside there. Okay, they can't just add malediction to the tree. Everybody is going to be anointing malediction on literally every single build, right? You just got to think about it for a second. Even if you can't read, you just got to think, like, would they really do that? No. Anyways, yeah, these are the big changes. This is the big stuff to look forward to. I just wanted to stall for 10 minutes to get a YouTube video out. So if you lasted, I mean, hey, thanks, brother. I'll catch you guys in the live stream. All right. I'm going to be streaming all the builds I'm writing for Maxwell articles. So yeah, check it out. Mauve Mischief tomorrow, probably the next few days, maybe a little Corrupting Fever Champion. And December 1st comes 3.20 patch notes, hopefully, but at least the live stream reveal where we're all pogging out on the YouTube or Twitch live stream. I'll catch you guys there. All right. Bye.